and welcome to another episode of Community Conversations. I'm Char Freedberg, and today we're speaking with Robin McCormick and Karla Talley. Robin is the founder of Quill and Company, a publishing company in the City of Laurel dedicated to helping writers develop their voices, share their stories, and reach audiences who need to hear them. One way they did so was with the Next Bestseller Contest, a 5-round literary competition identifying the next great author from Laurel and surrounding areas, culminating in a publishing contract for the winner. The winner of this inaugural contest is Karla Talley. We're very fortunate to have both Robin and Karla with us today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, we always love to highlight these types of stories. So Robin, speaking of highlighting stories, how did Quill and Company start? Can you walk us through that story?
Sure. So Quill and Company, I started as an author myself. And I called Quill and Company a pandemic baby as it began. And it was right before the pandemic hit. I had just finished my MBA program in grad school, and I was looking to start a business, but not quite sure what. But then when the pandemic hit, a lot of people were home. You know, they had a lot of extra time on their hands, and they started to write books, and they started to journal. So I would get phone calls from friends and family asking me for assistance on how to develop their manuscript or how did I publish. And then a light bulb went off, and I said, you know what, here's a need that I could meet in the community, and here's a business that I can start. So I decided to start my own publishing company and help people tell their stories and develop those manuscripts.
Congratulations, and it's been open for 5 years, still going strong.
Yes.
So what inspired the Next Bestseller Contest?
So the Next Bestseller is sort of a second phase of Quill and Company. When we started the company, we were, I was pretty much a one-woman show. So as we grew, we were looking to grow our outreach as well. So I've developed a team of illustrators and writing coaches, editors, and then I met with a business coach, and he and I came up with an idea about how we can expand that outreach. And he had a wonderful idea of developing a writing competition, and that's how the Next Bestseller was born.
Which is honestly incredible to see how it's grown from like a small amount of contestants to the 5 finalists to the winner. Speaking of which, Karla, congratulations on winning the contest. So how did you hear about it, and what inspired you to join?
Sure. So I heard about the competition sort of last minute. I saw a flyer in a local coffee shop in Laurel, and I felt like it was sort of a sign for me to enter the competition because at the start of the year, I told myself that I was going to finally write the book that I had been wanting to write for decades. I fell in love with writing at a very, very young age, and I was a creative writing major in undergrad, and I think naturally I finally came back to my first love of writing, and this competition was sort of like the sign that this is the year that I'm going to write my book.
Yeah, so can you describe your book and what made you want to tell it now? Why at this point? Why not like earlier in your life?
So Love in the Key of Black is the title of my book. It is a short fiction romance collection that is centering and celebrating Black love stories. There will be 10 short stories ranging from a variety of subgenres. So there will be historical fiction, there will be magical realism, and then we'll also have some contemporary stories that take place here in Prince George's County.
Wow.
And why now? It's specifically because I think a lot of people are craving feel-good love stories and romance. We've seen a lot of people readapting different books into TV shows focused on romance. So I think it's really a special time to kind of allow people and readers to have this moment of feeling good about romance and dating and all the things.
That's incredible. So Robin, you watched the competition as it unfolded over 5 weeks. How did you see Karla grow during that time? And Karla, how do you feel you've grown throughout the competition?
Well, I'd say Karla has grown tremendously from the tryout phase to the very end. From week to week, we've just seen her develop so well, and we've given them a lot of resources as well to help with that. So to see her go from just a little uncertain, you know, when she came into the competition to being so confident. It's such a rewarding experience.
Absolutely. And Karla?
I'll say that the competition really allowed me to focus on, you know, the why behind my story, and also to kind of expand on, you know, the creativity behind my short story. I feel like I had the concept for my book, but throughout the weeks of the competition, I was able to really develop my storyline more and to think more critically about how to even market my book and talk to people and audience members about why they should pick up my book.
Right.
Like Robin said, we were paired with writing coaches and mentors and media training specialists. So I feel like that was such an amazing experience where I got really hands-on, you know, expertise and skill building that I think I would not have been exposed to if not for the competition.
That's incredible to hear. So Karla, your book, as you said, is titled Love in the Key of Black, and it's a group of short stories. What's your favorite short story that you've written?
That's such a good question. I think, for one, I think the Prince George's County story is very special to me. You know, this competition took place in PG County, and I think
And you live in Bowie, correct?
Yes, I do. So I grew up here, and I have like a special place for this county. And I think just being able to kind of celebrate and allow readers from all over the place to kind of be steeped in the culture that is so special in this county, I think I'm really excited to kind of showcase that.
That's really nice. And to have a love story that is so local to the readers, that is really nice. So what advice do you both have for anyone that wants to tell their story, but they don't feel like they have the resources or like a fully fleshed out idea?
I would say basically Quill and Company was founded on that ideal of helping the novice writer, the average ordinary person who has a story but not quite know how to share it. I would definitely say reach out to Quill and Company for assistance with that and just start writing. Someone gave me that advice as a writer myself when I began. They would say to me, just start writing, and I'm glad that I can provide services for people who are not quite sure how to do that, and I walk them through that entire process.
And Karla?
My piece of advice would be to not count yourself out. I think a lot of times you may have like imposter syndrome when it comes to writing, and really just sitting down, like Robin said, and starting is, I think, half of the battle. At least for me, I kind of had had to overcome the fear of just being able to tell my stories. And I think once you start, you'll be really surprised how easily it flows and how many people are in your corner ready to read your book.
Which is honestly, that's what you've seen so far. That's what all the other finalists are trying to aim for as well. But finally, this is our last question. What's the best way for people to contact you, and what do you, Karla, want people to know about Love in the Key of Black?
Sure. So I think Love in the Key of Black, this is a short story collection where any reader will have interest in this book because there's so many different stories that you'll have from different subgenres. So I think it's a book that I believe that everyone will find something in. So I hope that you'll pick up the book when it's on the shelves. And I also want to share that going forward, I will be using my pen name, which will be Shanti Edwards. So you can follow me on social media at author Shanti Edwards. That's on TikTok, that's on Instagram, and you'll see my books, my debut novel, and then all the books to come will be under that name.
All right, and how do you spell that? I don't want people misspelling the name when they look for it.
Yeah, so that'll be author, and then Shanti is SHANTI, Edwards, EDWARDS.
All right, and Robin, what's the best way for people to reach out to you or Quill and Company?
Yeah, so the best way for people to reach me is at quillandcompany.com. Everything is on the website for contacting me for a consultation. If you want to see the episodes of the Next Bestseller, you can find everything on quillandcompany.com.
All right, Robin McCormick from Quill and Company and Karla Talley, winner of the first Next Bestseller Contest. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you,
Thank you
Char,
for
for having
having
us.
us.
And thank you for tuning in to this episode of Community Conversations. Like Robin said, for more information about Quill and Company, including how to contact them, visit their website at quillandcompany.com. I'm Char Freedberg for Community Conversations. See you next time.